Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Bring It Back. This being a show where we're talking about TV shows that were canceled and or short-lived that I'd like to see get brought back in some shape or form. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the sci-fi series Vagrant Queen. This is a very, very recent cancellation situation. If you're unaware what Vagrant Queen is, it was basically this science fictional space show. Essentially, you follow like the main protagonist, Aleda. She's basically a princess from this planet, but like her family was basically killed because basically they got usurped because there was basically a revolution where people were just tired of the monarchy and stuff like that. So basically she's been on a run since she was a little girl. I think she's been on the run for like 15 years basically. And so it's just kind of her, this dude that she partnered up with named Isaac, who's a human from Earth, and she meets a May, who's kind of like an engineer slash mechanic, and that basically they get caught up in this whole situation of, obviously she's not trying to have anything to do, she's not trying to reclaim her crown or anything, she's just doing whatever she can to survive, but obviously these bad people are known as the Republic. They know that she's still alive, so they're hunting her. So that's kind of the premise of the show series, and it's just kind of like, it's got a combination of seriousness while also just kind of wacky shenanigans. Like I said this at the time when the first trailers came out, it very much feels like Guardians of the Galaxy meets Killjoys. Guardians of the Galaxy definitely because of just tone-wise, but also just kind of like the colorfulness of it, as well as the all the alien species in it, but also like Killjoys because obviously same network and everything, but also like it has a very like Killjoys vibe, which does the whole serious and like levity moments as well. So but like I said, the show was sadly canceled after one season. Sadly, I think there was a lot working against the show. Just in general, I think I'm sure it didn't help. The fact of the matter is the show was initially airing on Fridays, but after like 3 episodes, Sci-Fi moved it to a Thursday for whatever reason. I feel like Fridays tend to be like their good spots because I read someone else kind of saying that too, because like a lot of their longer running shows have been on Fridays, whether it be like your Winona Earps, your Dark Matters. I mean, granted, that's a complicated thing because I got canceled after 3 seasons, but still. I want to say Haven has been up there on Fridays. Killjoys itself has been up. So like it's usually a good spot for their TV shows to kind of thrive. So the fact is that was kind of an early sign too. The fact is that the show went from a Friday to a Thursday, and not just like Thursday at like 10 or something, because like 8 to 10 is kind of that window on Fridays. They moved it to Thursday at 11. That was just kind of the case. I'm like, okay, there's something there. I think it's a combination of just like probably like viewership and as well as reception. I don't think the show was very well received, and I'm simply basing this on the numbers I've seen like scoring of the show, like I've come across on the internet, have typically been low. But also just from the experience of I reviewed the show, and some of the comments I got were just people being like, I had nothing to do with the show, which, well, fine and dandy, not everyone's gonna like it. I'm just bummed about it because I really liked it, especially because the show ends off on a major cliffhanger, so I was just kind of bummed by that. And something else I'm curious about too that might play into it is the show is actually based on a comic book, but it's actually a very I think a very niche comic book. I don't think it's a very popular comic book. I think from what I've been reading, because there's some articles that will tell you like, oh, this is based on a comic book that sold X amount of copies, only this amount of copies, which I think is just whatever the case may be. I'm not going to get into that. Throwing out the numbers just feels weird to me, so that's why I choose not to say anything about it, because I feel like it just feels like they're trying to spit in someone's face doing that. Not someone's intentions, but it just makes me feel weird, when people kind of throw out the numbers. But I think all that just sadly, contributed to like the series situation. So like I said, I'm bummed by it because I would like the show to keep going on, because I like I said, I genuinely like the show, but I know, like I said, I don't know in general how people all across the board felt, what the viewership was like, because, like I said, I'm just basing it on like this small things that I've picked up, like I said, from comments as well as just like general scores I've seen across the internet. So, but I don't know, maybe more people in general are more favorable of it. Who knows? I don't know. How long would I want the show to go on for? I want it to have, I think, especially when we're talking sci-fi, I think 5 seasons a good benchmark. Granted, obviously there are, exceptions when it comes to that 5-season benchmark situation, because some shows hit that 5 seasons, others hit that 5 seasons, and it's more kind of like that was your last one, like ergo, like the Magicians type of situation. But regardless, I want the show to get another shot. I don't know if there'd be any other network willing to pick that up, any other streaming service willing to kind of put money behind it, you know? I wish that could be the case, but I mean, like I said, there's just so many factors in this situation. I don't know if it's something that, I know if people would rally behind to be like, oh, bring back Vagrant Queen, you know? So, but like I said, got my fingers crossed, hoping that, you know, maybe something will happen in the future. So, but really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and good